much. You rock.
Over to you, Priyanshi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very warm welcome to one and all present here. This is Priyanshi Jain from Guna, Madhya Pradesh. Currently, I'm pursuing my Chartered Accountancy course and MBA from SIRT Bhopal. So, before starting with the session, I would request you all to please turn off your mic and also turn on your videos so that we can make this session an interactive one. So, Kshitija, Kiran, please turn on your videos. Adi. Okay, so moving forward, let me tell you what BRATS exactly is. BRATS is an independent organization which is helping in bringing the campus to corporates. BRATS aims to help the students to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and provides real-time experience in the fields of engineering and management. Let's have a glimpse at the message given by our Captain BRATS.
India is the largest demographic education hub. Still, there are about 4 lakhs of students going abroad for higher education year on year. But one side, if I'm seeing, a lot of Indians are actually leading global corporates. That's the beauty of Indian talent, which needs to be pulled out. BRATS. Now, BRATS, what is BRATS? Everybody's hearing, you need to know what is BRATS. BRATS is Brands, Research, Advertising, Technology, and Strategies. What we are actually trying to do out here. So our last 3 years research developed this platform to connect industry and institutions. What are platforms we actually need to connect? We want you to get ready for the industry while you're in the institute itself. You are thoroughly going through your curriculums, but there are a lot of real-time experiences, case studies, live projects, courses maybe, and that has to be enrolled into your internships, otherwise recruitments. That's what we are here to bring out through your BRATS. My name is Suresh Kumar Kurapati and I'm the captain for BRATS. We already have about 1,000 plus students associated with us and a lot of students actually helping us to grow within the campuses, being our campus ambassadors. That's what we look forward to, and I welcome you all, and let's grow together. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
So I feel so honored to be given a chance to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Bertrand RIVIERE. Mr. RIVIERE is a trained business professional with expertise in project management and business creation. After a commercial training in Paris and the development of his expertise in project management and business development, Mr. RIVIERE specialized in the management of events that make use of cutting edge interactive technologies, including expertise in holography. He has worked on large scale projects that have been recognized in Europe and around the world as references in the field. Today, he is a representative of Voice-o-Matic and K6 Media Group, managing the relationship between the company and our clients and valued partners in the industry. I welcome you, sir. Now over to you.
Hello everyone. So first of all, I will share my screen and for the presentation, of course. So just a sec. So here and there. So normally you can see my screen and we could start. So hello to all. First of all, I would like to thank you all to be there and be ready to hear information about K6 Media Group and animation industry. Thank you, Suresh and his team to welcome me, of course. I will present you the company, and for this first presentation this week, a few elements around animation 2D, 3D, and what means 3D render in 2D or what is named 2.5D. We will pass through some definition, examples, and process. I will also talk about softwares we have developed at K6 Media Group and which are used in the animation industry everywhere in the world. We cannot imagine how technology is implemented in our industry, but as you will see, the more we move forward, the more we need automation and technical solutions to produce more, smarter, and more efficiently, and of course, at a lower cost. You will see that we need these tools to manage projects, to automate certain processes, and make them more efficient. The aim is always to make it, as Daft Punk used to sing it, better, faster, stronger, and more easier than harder. So let's start. So you can see my right point. So I will introduce the company, some key positions. I used to say that I have a dream team at K6 Media Group, and this dream team is a part of my better skills. I will present you some software in our company, 2D and 3D process and examples and references. So the company is linked with my president, Laurent Abécassis, history. So first of all, he has created Click Animation and he won an award in animation studio open in Montreal. This award was because it was the shortest time between the creation of a pitch to the broadcast online. It was less than 20 hours from the idea to the broadcast. Then in 2000, he has created Voice-o-Matic with different kind of software. So 20 years ago, today we know that we have 8,000 clients in 20 years, and it's different kind of software such as Morphomatic, Voice-o-Matic that help us to create contents fastly. In 2005, he won an Emmy Award, Primetime Emmy Award for a TV series named Lost. He used to manage the team that has created the plane crash on the first episode. I think it was the first episode. 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, he has created K6 Media Group, and K6 Media Group is both a production studio, an animation studio, and a production house. And of course, the future is bright. We have different kind of partner. We have a lot of wide range of projects from Europe, from Asia, from United States, and we're working on it. So this is our vision. As you can see, so it's in French, but I will explain. So this is our visions. Books are the alpha and omega of our business model. That is to say that we are inspired by books, and from the books, we are making different kind of content. Okay, but books are not the only source of inspiration. It's 80–90% of our inspiration. But in our business, we are making different kind of things. We are making mobile application, software, VR and AR content, shop windows, exhibition, puppets, merchandising, books and comics, of course, toys. And we are a company that is making animation, production, and services. For example, we can have an old book and create a 3D animation cartoon, but we could have a theme park and create a cartoon. We could have an old cartoon and create a comic book. So we are evolving. We are in this area of these possibilities.
Hi, Beto, your screen is a bit blurred again.
Ah, it's blurred again? Okay, I will stop sharing and we'll start again.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. So if there is more mistakes, don't hesitate to tell me. I will relaunch the process.
Yes, thank you.
So our expertise. We are, as I told you, we are making 2D and 3D animation. We are making digital puppet. We are making AR, VR contents. We are making live action. We are editing. We are making special effects, VFX. We of course are making holographic installation, and we are making mobile apps. And for the next 2 weeks, we will pass through animation. So animation is for today. The holographic installation is for the next session, and the digital puppet for the last session, the 15th of September, I guess. So as I told you, I'm not working alone. I talk to you about my boss, Laurent Abécassis, with his history and how we have created K6 Media Group Voice-o-Matic. And here is a presentation of some of my colleagues and a part of my team, of course. So here you can see a part of my team during the COVID. So it's still the way we are working today, because it's not finished. Sorry to remember this pandemic situation. Here it was before the COVID. As you can see, we are smiling and we are happy to be there. And it was during winter. And before that, we used to welcome our people and our colleagues on the terrace during the summertime. So you can see here Laurent talking to Maleka on the terrace during a party. So we are passionate about our profession, of course, and we work in an environment that promotes ethics, knowledge sharing, support, and fairness. And in addition to that, we have a multicultural international team with a variety of background. My team is coming from Mexico, Europe, Belgium, France, from US, from Canada, from Ukraine, and so on. So it's a wide range of personality, cultures, and so on. So this is, I will pass through fastly, but here is Alice. Yeah. Same thing?
Yes, same problem. It's again.
I don't know why, I'm sorry. So I stop sharing and I relaunch. I hope it's not boring.
Can you share on behalf of
Bertrand, let me try. Give me a minute. I'll just quickly check that.
Beto, can we share, because I think there is some kind of an issue while you.
You want to share the presentation? Okay, so I will just a sec. I will send it to you, because I will send it to you now. Just 30. I only need 30 seconds. So SKK and
Share it with Durbi also.
Yeah. Presentation. Okay. So 20 seconds and it's come to your email box. So normally it's sent. Did you receive it?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Mm-hmm.
So I have sent it to URV.
Yeah,
and
I got it.
Oh, okay, great. So we are on the slide 11.
11.
Yeah. Sorry for that.
No problem.
There are always technical issues during Zoom.
That's fine. You need to give me access.
Sorry, I didn't share to you the. Oh, sorry.
One second, we are sharing it. Just give me a second.
That's the old one, no?
You have? Yes, you have.
Is this the same one? Or you want us to use another?
He just made now something.
1 second, let me just quickly check that. Okay. I will open this then.
You give the access, Beto?
Yes. So normally yes. Reception. Yes, you have the access normally.
Yeah.
You have it? Not yet?
Which slide you are on?
Yeah.
10th or 11th?
Sir, please tell me the slide.
This is a new one, na?
Yes, sir.
Open 10th.
This one?
The one after. Yes. So, yes.
Okay.
So Alice is our production vice president. Massimo is our director. He is making storyboarding and 2D animation. David is a 3D animator expert. The slide after. So the following slide is me, of course. So I am director of international affairs. Ji Young is our animation designer. Everything she creates is like magic, I can assure you. Michael is our 3D generalist. The slide after. Estelle is our content director. She's a script writer and a storyboarder, and more than this, she's an expert about Christmas. Eric Saint-Pierre is our CFO. He knows exactly how to manage finance. Isabelle is our 2D animators. And then we have Philippe Cahouette, our webmaster. Stéphane Barbin, our 3D technical director. He knows exactly how to mimic Chewbacca from Star Wars. But anyway, and Scott Thompson is our technical director. And the rest of my team is, as I used to say, my dream team is a multitasking professionals. They know exactly how to manage 2D, 3D, storyboard, lighting, computing, how to manage projects, and so on. I can say, Malika, Mary, and so on. A couple of them. So I will talk to you about KSX software now. So KSX, at the beginning, before KSX exists, it was Voice-o-Matic, and Voice-o-Matic for a period of 20 years has created a different plugin and software. We have to know that we are a partner for Adobe and Autodesk, and we are certified by these big companies in software. That is to say that we have the right to see the source code of these softwares. For an example, so the slide after, we have Morphomatic. So as it's written, but for the last 16 years, animators and leading studios around the world have brought character to life in 3D using Morphomatic. So Morphomatic, so just a sec, because I used to have something that has disappeared. But Morphomatic is a software that permits us to mimic the mouse for characters. For example, as a French citizen, if I speak to people, and if I say "oh," you can see my mouse like this, "oh." In English, that's the same. So we just have to put some references inside this software in order they know exactly how to move the mouse of the characters. Of course, the shape of the mouse, the shape of the mouse is different following the languages. That's why we have built another software named Voice-o-Matic. Voice-o-Matic permits to, so it's a slide after. Voice-o-Matic permits us to speak any kind of language in the lip sync of characters. For example, the same example, if I say O in French is like O in English. But if I say the letter R in English, R, the mouse is totally open. But in French, it's R. R, it's like a square on my mouse, okay? So the software is able to speak any kind of language because it can hear and can feel how the mouse is shaped following what he is hearing. So that this kind of software permits us to manage lip sync and morphing on face in 3D. And that permits us to spare 80 to 90% of the time face to what we used to do by the past. And after that, our animators are just there to make some correction of the 10 or 20% that rest. So the slide after. So K6 2D and 3D with Diamatic. So here it's a video. So maybe it's a long video, but it's a video that permits us to understand the difference between 2D and 3D. So because I can see the time, I don't know if we have the time to read it. 5 minutes video. So we can pass through and I can explain. And if we have time, we could go back to this video. So
we can.
Okay, so let's do it. We just have to on the arrow, and normally it launches directly by YouTube or Vimeo. Yes.
When we watch an animated film, it's very easy to notice the difference between 2D and 3D animation. Anyone can point out that this is 2D and this is 3D. But what is the core differences between the two, other than the visual result? What does it mean to make a 2D animation as opposed to making a 3D one? Well, actually the making process is very different. For starters, to make a 2D animation, you need to be able to draw. Everything you see in a traditional 2D animation had to be drawn, usually frame by frame. For a 3D animator, while being able to draw well is definitely an advantage, it is not mandatory. When you're animating in a 3D environment, you move the character kinda like a puppet, right there on the computer. Alright, so what does it really mean? In 2D animation, you draw the first key pose, and then the rest of the key poses. Now you need to draw all the frames in between them. Notice when the guy's arm is covered by its body, it's actually gone. If something is not shown in 2D animation, you don't have to draw it. If a character closes its eyes, the eyeballs does not exist anymore until I draw them again. This concept is one of the big differences between the two types of animation. That's because when you're working in a 3D environment, all the parts of your character are always there, and you have to be aware of them. While in 2D, you just draw whatever is seen, and the rest is gone. Okay, so we all know that animating in 2D means drawing a lot. But what does it really mean to animate in 3D? How does it look? Well, let's see. This is a 3D model. It is rigged. That means that he is programmed with all the right virtual bones and controls to make it as easy for animators as possible to go ahead with animating it. Now, this rig might not be as complex as what the big studios like Pixar and Disney use, but it is made with the same principle and concepts, and the animation methods are kind of similar in all places. So as you can see, this model has controls in every key position in the body. I can grab one of the controls and move it around, but that only explains how we can move the model, not animate it. Here it gets a little bit more complex. Watch this window here. It's called a graph editor. 3D animation is all about graphs and curves. I know math and formulas don't belong in an artistic thing like animation, but here it is. Now this might seem a little overwhelming, but most of these controls has 6 different curves you need to manage, all at once. There's the translate curves, X, Y, and Z for up, down, left, right, closer and far away, and 3 curves for rotation, X, Y, and Z, also for the 3 axes of rotation. And mind you, this is just for controlling one hand. We have these curves for both hands, 2 legs, knees, elbows, neck, back, pelvis, hips, and each part of each finger. That's a lot of curves. Some of the controllers have even more than 6 curves. So yeah, an animator spends a lot of his time looking at these graphs and curves. So now we know about the curves, but we still didn't cover the animation process. So let's say this character wants to raise his hand. We'll go for the first frame in the timeline and make a keyframe. A keyframe is you telling the program you want the hand to be in this position at this time period, at this frame. Now we'll go 10 frames ahead in the timeline and move the hand up. Make another keyframe. You can see in the graph editor that there is a curve on the y-axis of the hand going up. That's because the computer interpolates the difference between the first and second keyframes we made. So an animator will do what we just did, but he will also move most parts of the body for every keyframe, and offset some of them and tweak them for hours and hours. After a lot of animating, the graph editor will look something like this. This window here is what 3D animators look at most of the day, while 2D animators mostly look at drawings. Another difference is the frame rate and what happens on moving holds. What do I mean by that? Well, in animation we usually work in 24 frames a second. In 2D animation that means that there's a drawing every frame 24 times a second. That sounds like a lot of drawings, but it's actually not that many, because when there's no big or fast movements, you can settle for one drawing lasting for 2 frames. So that's actually 12 drawings per second. This is called working on twos, because you're making a change or a new drawing every 2 frames. When the movement is very still, you might even work on 3s and 4s, making a new drawing every 3 or 4 frames. You see that a lot in Japanese animation and stop motion. Sometimes they would hold the same drawing for many frames. In 3D though, it doesn't really work that way. When a 3D character doesn't move at all, even for 1 frame, it seems kind of wrong. It seems dead. Look at this example. The ball settles after a jump, and if we completely stop its motion, it seems like a mistake. While in this 2D animation example, it seems okay to hold the same drawing when the character hits a hold position. This makes it a challenge to do what is called a moving hold in 3D animation. A moving hold is whenever you need a character to do nothing but still feel like it's alive. While in 2D and stop motion you can settle for a new drawing every 3 to 5 frames, or even not have a new drawing at all for a few seconds, in 3D we always gotta keep the character moving, even a little bit, and that's not easy. Well, that's it for now. There's of course a lot more differences between the 2 kinds of animation, but I hope this short overview gave you a basic understanding of what it means to animating.
So I think that this video permits us to better understand what is the difference between 3D and 2D animations. Following this, I will give you some definitions. So I think it's a slide after. Yeah, it's a kind of vocabulary. So I have here, sorry, just an issue with my computer. So there is different kind of things and notions we have to know. So the modeling in 3D, the modeling is, it's like talking about the flesh of the character without color, without animation or soul, that permit us to see how the character will look like. So this is exactly what we have on the top left hand corner of the presentation. After that, you have on the right the pumpkin and a Santa Claus. This is what we are naming rigging. So it's like the skeleton of the character. This is exactly what we just saw, that permit us to move the character. But we have to know that, you have to know that we are able to rig a character, of course, but we are able to rig some hair. We are able to rig some hat, an object. So rigging is only the skeleton of the object of the character we will move in the cartoon. After that, we have what we are naming animatic. An animating, it's a kind of storyboard, but animated without animation. So if you want, there is a I think 1 minute or 30 seconds of animatic if you click on the yellow arrow, on the purple arrow. Ah, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I will. I don't know why. Maybe it's a territory constraint.
Yeah, sure.
Doesn't matter. So it's like a storyboard. So a storyboard, it's a different kind of frame and fix. And an animatic, it's without movement. You can just see with the voice of the character and arrows to indicate the direction of the character. And it's in black and white most of the time. And it permits us to see exactly how the action will be done. After that, we have the layout. So the layout is the step that permits to show without animation how the shot will move. It's a material prepared by the team with every product needed to get the animation. That is to say, when I'm talking about product, it's background, model with rig, the starting point of the scene, and the ending point. So we only are able to see the character sliding, but it's still without animation. And after that, you have animation. So the animators and the producer know exactly where the character is coming from, where it's going, and is animated using the rigs to make the animation. Okay. So we have, so we are on the following slide. So the 3D. So what is 3D animation? We, on the video, we have a kind of definition, but the main thing we have to keep is that we are using 3 dimension, a 3D animation. So the X, Y, and Z that permit us to make a rotation around the character or and to evolving in the environment. So we are on the following slide. So these are the steps to realization in 3D. So first of all, we have a synopsis. A synopsis, it's like 2, 3, 4 sentences that permit us that permit to be able to have to create an elevator pitch. Imagine you are meeting someone in an elevator, in a lift. You have only 30 seconds or 10 seconds to describe exactly what we are talking about. The script is everything about the show, from the story to the technical cutout, that permit to the team and the artistic director to see how the show will look like. The R&D designs, it's permit to make the definition of the shape of the character and the look of the animation. It's like a mood board of the character. It will have this kind of colors, this kind of texture, this kind of movements, and so on. Animatics and voice, this is exactly what I wanted to show you, but it's a storyboard, but in animation, animated, but without animation. There is the modeling. I have explained to you, I have explained you what is the modeling. We have the rigging. Now you know exactly what rigging is. We have the layout, same thing. Animation. We have the lighting. The lighting is, so I have the right definition to be sure that I'm not forgetting something. So the lighting, it's only in 3D. It's adding some light from many different points in order to underline the stage, such as in a real show. So we have a light for the character. You can see a light from there. So the light is hidden. We can't see the source of the light, but it's lighting the character. We could have many lights to light unlighting the background, and another light to unlight a specific element in the background or around the character. For the 2D, we are not talking about lighting, but shadowing, because in 2D animation we are putting some shadows, not lights. The rendering is the way to calculate all the data needed when we animate in order to render it as a content in picture. So the rendering permits us to have the pictures, not the data behind, not the calculation only, and it's lighter. Compositing and FX. So when the shot is rendered, we had some FX. It's like a receipt. We had some FX, such as we could add some salt or pepper in a plate. So, and we composed. This part is there to spare time on the animation. And if we need to add snow on a shot, for example, it will take time and money to create this snow. So with FX, after the rendering, we just add the content rendered, the snow, and we mixed it. Calibration, it's a way to verify the pictures everywhere in the content, in the animation content. And the montage, it's like in cinema, we have a different kind of shots rendered, and we are making them one after the other. And after everything, we give the animation to the mix, music, and noise. If you want to hear the snow, if you want to hear the wind, sorry, or if you want to hear people, characters speaking, and so on. So we are on the following slide. So these are examples we use to work at KC.
Bertrand,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
You can actually ask the remote access.
Ah, okay.
You can operate from your side also. You can just request.
Okay.
On the top, there is a view option. You can actually ask for request.
It's done. You can control.
Now you can operate on your own.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So 3D Mickey Mouse, the first time we have seen Mickey Mouse in 3D, it was also thanks to our software, Morphomatic. And the tricky part was, you know, as a 2D, when you are seeing Mikey, you can see ears like that. But in 3D, if you see Mikey in 3D, ears are like that. So you can't see ears of Mikey. So the tricky part was only to do that. So anyway, I'm like a clown. Then we have Mikey and Friends, of course. We have SpongeBob. In 15 days, I will talk to you about how we have created a puppet live animation experience in Mexico for SpongeBob. Pink Panther, we used to work on Asterix because the owner of the right of Asterix is a close partner for K6 and Voice-o-Matic. Garfield, Lazy Cat, and Sonic. You can see the difference between the first picture and the second one. And of course, Spookly. So as I told you, Spookly is a production. We are production with Disney, with Ilfarm production for Spookly, the Square Pumpkin. So at the beginning, it's a book, and after that, we have created this little creature the little pumpkin, and I will show you the video. Hope it will work. Yes, great.
I caught a snowflake!
That's a Christmas snowflake.
A surprise visitor.
There is no
comes to
sound.
Holiday
I thought
Oh, great.
you need to optimize the sound, please.
Oh,
Go back and stop it and shift again.
And now, a green cat.
Your name is
You need to
Mistletoe.
stop it and go back.
So
Stop sharing.
stop sharing, but I'm not. If, I can't.
Acha.
Yes.
Okay. Priyanshi?
Yes, sir, just a second. This one video is to be played, right?
Yeah. So
I caught a snowflake.
That's a Christmas snowflake.
A surprise visitor comes to Holiday Hill.
Oh, great. First a square pumpkin, and now a green cat.
Your name is Mistletoe. It's written right there on your collar, so we can help you find your way home.
Hey, come back here.
We need to go after him.
This is an emergency.
Join the adventure. Come on, follow me.
Kittens?
Hello. Feel the magic
This is gonna be the best Christmas ever.
and find your way home.
Mine is out there somewhere.
A Disney Junior Family Night special event. Spookly returns in Spookly and the Christmas Kittens. Premieres Friday night, December 6th at 7 on Disney Junior. I caught a snowflake.
That's a Christmas snowflake.
A surprise visitor comes to Holiday.
So that's great. So I don't know how to go out of this video. Sorry, Priyanshi. I don't know how to go out of this video. Sorry.
Oh, great.
And we could do that. So thank you very much. So we have been co-producer on this content. It has been launched in the United States last year, and it has made 1.5 million viewers in the United States. Normally, it's on Netflix at the end of this year. So we are quite proud of this successful cartoon. So yeah, so technology we are using in 3D, it's Final Draft Scenarist for the scenario, Storyboard Pro, Shotgun to manage a project, 3ds Max, it's a pipeline, 3D pipeline, Plug, Morphomatic, of course, and Voice-o-Matic, because we are the owner of this software, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Photoshop, and Reviere, which is a 3D render software. So the 2D. Now, I will pass through fastly because we have a lot of notions with 3D. So 2D is only using 2 dimensions. So there are no the depth dimension. There are more technical information about 2D, but if we are at 24 or 30 frames per second for 3D, we could be at 12 frames per second in 2D. So it's not less, it's not a kind of less quality, it's kind of sometimes it's cheaper to make 2D, but the content can be beautiful, of course. So the way to realize a 2D animation, it's quite the same as a 3D cartoon. We have synopsis, script, design, storyboard, animatics and voice, 2D designs, rigging, layouts, animation, rendering, compositing, calibration, and montage. Okay, and after that, mix, sounds, and so on. The main example of what we have in 2D, and we are developing this IP. IP is intellectual property. So this IP is in our slate. So we are developing it. And I will show you how we are using technology to develop a 2D animation content. So it's quite fast, no worries. Ah. So territory constraint. So anyway, I will explain it to you. So imagine a 2D cartoon that you have drawn, and with technology, we are able to manage, thanks to the rig, the eye, the way we move the body, the way we move the air. So it's really fantastic because that permits us to puppet the 2D animation in order to spare time in production. So I'm really sorry to be not able to show you this video, but that's life. I will try to show you next week before starting the next webinar. Technology we are using is Adobe After Effects, Pencil Plus. Pencil Plus is a software to render in 2D. Harmony, Moho, Flash, Character Animator, Final Draft for the scenario, Storyboard Pro, Shotgun for the project management, and of course, not Morphomatic, it's a mistake, but Voice-o-Matic. So now we have another kind of mix of technology, which is 3D render in 2D. 3D render in 2D. So we are producing the first step as a 3D animation content, but we are not using V-Ray to render it. We are using Pencil Plus. That permits us to spare time about the production because it's easier to rig a 3D model. But the result is, because we are using Pencil Plus, is flattening to make it flat for the content. Effects, so that permits us to spare time, so spare money, but that permits us to be more artistic with this kind of technologies because there are some constraints. So the rendering is a key for this part. It's a kind of mix of techniques and rendering process. We build the character as a 3D process, but we render it like a 2D, such as here with the software Pencil Plus. I just told you, sorry for the... Here is the example of Tarzan. So Tarzan is, so I don't remember how it works. I will see if it works, but
okay, now let's take a look at how.
Shut down the sound. So as you can see, the background here is totally developed in 3D, so with a 3D model, and you can see that we are adding the rigs, not the rigs, the shape, the texture. More than this, after that, we are adding more details. The character is drawn. Then we had some colors and more textures here. More details and so on. And after the render is done, this is exactly what we have. A 2D character in a 3D background, everything is rendered in 2D. That permits us to have the feeling that it's in 3D, but the look is in 2D. So here are some references for Diomatic, Voice-o-Matic, and Morphomatic. So we can see Super Mario, Garfield, EA Games, Spider-Man, Batman, Sonic, SpongeBob, Pink Panther, Tomb Raider, Grand Theft Auto, Mikey, and B-Movie. And this is only a part of our references. I will try to show you, but here behind me you can see Superman, Sonic, Pluto, Goofy, different kind here, Lego, Garfield. So because I am at the office, and that just to show you that we have a lot of references about our clients and software and projects. And here are different kind of projects. I will talk to, sorry. I will talk to you about, sorry. So I will talk to you about IA and ARIA next time. because it's an holographic systems. So it's our 2D and 3D references for 2019 and 2020. So Little Santa, that should be online broadcast this year in Quebec. Delicious, we are developing it. Lego, a client for the Instagram mobile game. Spookly, of course, and game for the comics festival in a town here in Quebec. So here are some other references. I would like to add something. Just a sec. Yeah. So different kind of companies. So you can see Gameloft, Capcom, Codec, EA, Pixar, Sony, and so on, L'Oreal, Disney, and so on, and different IPs such as Leonard, Catalina la Catrina, Spookly, Tripping the Reef, Spider-Man, Mario, and so on. So as a conclusion, what can I say? I say, so this presentation was in order to give you some information about how we are using technology in our field of industry. When you are on cinema or when you are behind your screen, you can see a lot of content, and maybe you don't know how technology and people around that is important. For my part, I have discovered everything about the animation industry as soon as I started to work for K6 and Diomatic, and that was crazy. That was crazy because it's a big market. It's more than 10 billions of US dollar everywhere in the world. We have a lot of content, and the more the technology is going forward, the more we need to use this technology to have the better content. Last thing I would like to say to you, it's 3D is getting older faster than 2D. Because technology is always evolving, it is always going forward. 2D, even if you are using the newest technology, you can see that there is a kind, it could be new, totally new IP, new story, new way to produce, new way, such as maybe Spider-Man, but it's longer, its tech is used more than the 3D. I think I have finish for this part this year. So if you have some question and if I am able to answer it, help yourself.
Guys, any questions about 2D, 3D, and how the implementation is happening? Yes, Shubham, please go on.
It's not Adobe.
Yeah,
Yes.
hi. The presentation was, yeah, maybe due to technical issues, we couldn't enjoy it. But I was really fascinated with the animation that you showed in the YouTube videos. And believe me, I have always been fascinated with all the 3D animation things. Like there was a part of me which wanted to be an animator at some point. But now, as I have changed my career path, I have been into an MBA, so I can't go for that. So I had a question that how long do you think a person need in order to become a good animator? Even if the person starts from the scratch, how long does it take?
Okay, I will try to answer you the best honest as doable. Okay.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I would like to say to you, I clearly don't know, but I have some references. So in fact, to be a good animation, you need to from scratch. You need to have some training. You have to go to school, or maybe you have a gift from God, and that's crazy, and you can do without training, and that's perfect for you. And I believe that it happens sometimes in the world. So, and it works. But at the beginning, you have to know the rules of animation. There is a book, I don't remember the name just now, but I will send it to Suresh. But there is a book about the 12 keys of animation. You have to anticipate the movement. You have to know how to stretch, how to expand. You have to know how to anticipate a shock and so on. So there are 12 keys of animation. So the first is to know these 12 keys. As you can see, I don't know them because, but you have to know them. Secondly, you have to be trained in the animation industry. You have to be trained to how to draw and how to draw in 3D or in 2D. Then you have to be experiment. You have to work in the animation industry. Here in North America, you can start in a school. You will be trained at school, and after that, you can start your career in a job and at the starting point. In Japan, it's a little bit different. You are trained at school, but you will not drawing a line during the first year of your first job because it's cultural. If you want to be an animator in Japan, you have to work 10 years, hard, really hard. If you want to work in America or in Canada, North America, in the animation industry, you just have to prove that you are able to do it. And to prove that you are able to do it, you just have to work hard and to be trained. So I think that after 1 year, you have some notions. After 2 years of training, you starting to animate correctly. And after that, it's 5, 10, 20 years of experience.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I have been subscribed to few of the YouTube channels. One is Domix. It has been a really long. It has been an old channel, Domix, on YouTube, and one is Make Joke Off. It's an Indian YouTube channel. You might have heard about it. Make Joke Off. They make 2D animations.
Okay.
Yeah, they are quite famous in India. I mean, they make funny videos. But yeah, you might not be able to understand because the language is in Hindi. So you might get, yeah, you might need a translator for that. But yes, you can check out the channel Domix. And I have been watching it for so long. Domics.
Okay.
So yeah, that's been my inspiration. And now your session has added something to it because maybe after some point I might try this because I really have this passion inside me. Drawing, animation, art. I just I'm passionate about it. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks a lot for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Shubham.
Yes, Adi, go on.
Bonjour. Bonjour,
Yeah.
Bertrand.
Oh, bonjour, Pranit. Pranit? Yeah, Pranit.
No, Adi. It's Adi.
Adi is speaking right now. I'll ask
Adi, sorry, because I didn't see the mic. Sorry, Pranit. Hello, Adi. How are you?
Good, sir. Actually, I was very fascinated about AI. So I thought of asking you, is animation made to an AI? If I train a bot regarding animation, would it sustain in the market?
So AI, so it's intelligence artificial, right?
Artificial intelligence, yes.
Okay. So we can use AI for cartoon, but we are the starting point of this technology. At the beginning, when Suresh came to me in order to talk about a different kind of technology we are using, the first point was I will try to talk about deepfake and AI. My boss advised me that it's a hard subject and it's tough to explain because we are the starting point of this technology. What we know is we will surely be helped by the AI to create cartoon in 3D or in 2D in the next couple of years for sure. But for now, I really don't know how.
Okay, sir.
I hope this is the right answer for your right questions.
Actually, yes, it was an cut accepted. Thank you, sir.
Oh. Okay, Adi, thank you very much.
Okay, I had a question.
Yes, go
Bernard,
ahead.
I have observed that Disney animators work passionately to focus on the details of the characters. If you might have seen Frozen 2, the character details are absolutely magnificent. So I started wondering what are the main features, like specifications you make sure observe or make a note of that you don't let them go, because when the audience observes the characters, there are certain key points that you want the audience to focus on. So what are those things? What are those aspects you try to make sure are up to the mark?
So when we have co-produced Spookly with Hill Farm Production, which is a Disney company, a production from Disney or linked to Disney, we have worked with them directly. So of course we have to be really respectful of rules of characters and shape from Disney. This content has to be like a Disney because it is a Disney. So we have hired a famous artistic director, producer, which is Bernie Denk. And Bernie used to work on the first Spookly 15 years ago with Laurent Abécassis, my boss. And 15 years after, the reflex on how we have to work on the Disney content came back. And each steps were validated by Disney, of course, because we are co-producer. But in co-producer, there is a producer and a co. We were a co. Okay. So about the details, of course, we just have had to be focused on each details. That's why we have used some technologies, big engines, big computers to render in 4K the contents. And it has been an obligation for us to have this kind of validation. Do I answer the question you've asked? Yes? Okay. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you, Pranet. Yes, no more question. I have answered everything.
I'll ask one more question.
Yeah.
So
yes, go on.
Okay, if you might observe that just video editing takes a lot of consumption of system power, right? It consumes a lot of the system resources. So how is it with animation? What are the system specifications you would recommend for a beginner?
Wow. I will try to answer such I have answered to Shubham. The main thing for the materials, for the hardware, you need to have a good computer with a good graphic card and the right software. After that, you have to be trained by maybe you have a gift, as I told to Shubham, but you have to be trained. But if you have the materials and if you are trained, there are no problem about that. Following this part, you have to know how to draw, because drawing a character or drawing a background or drawing something, you have to respect some rules. So it's impossible for me to tell you exactly what you need. But if it's a question of material, you need a good computer graphic card with a good screen. That is not to say an expensive material. That is to say a good material to start. After that, if you succeed to create things with your starting point materials, you will be able to buy another one, more expensive, better, with a better screen, and so on. And you will have the possibility for you to work in a company that has this kind of materials and this kind of software licenses. So, but if you want to start from home, yeah, a good graphic card and be trained at school to know exactly how to draw and how to use the software. In fact, that's the point.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
Hi, Kieran. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. You showed up some of the tools you use for doing this 2D animations and 3D animations. Some developed by your own companies. Are they accessible to normal people? Like we students have a habit of learning new things, right? So can we access those tools so that we can also try doing some stuff there?
Yes, you are. Yes, it's totally accessible for. It's not. Yeah, most of the time, these software and plugins are for companies. But maybe you want to start your own companies in animation industry. I don't know. So you just have to go to on diomatic.com. I think I will verify that. I will verify that. So just a sec. So it's diomatic.com. Yes. So you just have to go on diomatic.com, and on diomatic.com, so DIOMATIC, you will see this software and plugins. My advice is not to buy these tools if you don't have the Autodesk or Adobe or this kind or 3ds Max software, because you will have some plugins without the software, so it can't work. Just have to you just have to know exactly if you need really to use it. So another advice is, if you are in an animation school, ask them to use this software for you and for your classroom. It's better, it will be cheaper, and it will be useful. That's the point. After that, diomatic.com. Help yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
That's a good one, Bertrand.
Yeah, that was great. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, absolutely.
I try to share my best English, the best English I have. So with a big French accent, and yes, a little bit proud of it, but I hope that I was understandable. I really hope that. I will prepare something for Suresh if you want this presentation at home. Maybe on PDF format, in order for you to pass through. So you will see there are a lot of mistakes, of course, English mistakes. I apologize, please. But I think that it will be understandable, and it passed through through everything we talked the last hour. Okay.
That's very much fine, and it was quite insightful, and new things have come up for people who got to know a lot of other things. Of course, I'm very poor from the technology point of view. You know it very well. But yes, your English have improved a lot. That I must compliment. Of course.
It's clearly it's thanks to my colleague Estelle. She's coming from Australia, so I know the difference between dude and mate.
And and keep talking to us also, so you will even practice well.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any more questions? If anybody has, otherwise, we'll have to call for this, and we will wait for the second session by Bertrand on 5th, right?
No, the 10th of about
Okay.
holographic systems.
Okay. So on 10th we will have on holograms.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That will be crazy, guys.
So yes, that is what is the real expertise of Bertrand, which he has done a lot of magical things in India as well as abroad and worldwide. So he will show you all his work he has been doing, and you will get a lot of learnings from him. You should access LinkedIn. We're going to post everything on LinkedIn, whatever we're going to do today, whatever we've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session and insightful session also. Before winding up the session, I would request everyone to turn on their cameras, as we have this tradition of taking photograph before winding the session. Mehal, Prateek, Divya. Is it done? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Join us on our social media handles, and you will get the latest updates from there. And join our next webinar also, which is tomorrow.
Thank you, Beto.
Thank you
So much.
You're welcome.
Merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup.
Bye bye, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.
So much. Thanks a lot.